Hi kids, it's Tania McCartney, author of the Riley the Little Aviator series, here again to read you another story in the Riley series. You remember last time we read Riley and the Sleeping Dragon, A Journey Around Beijing, and now we're going to read book 2, which is Riley and the Dancing Lion, A Journey Around Hong Kong. I don't know if many of you have been to Hong Kong before, but I love Hong Kong and this is really good fun to write. First I wanted to introduce you to somebody that you might like. This is a very special Riley doll. Can you see him? He was made by Tina Snurling of Tiny Concept. She's a designer in Brisbane and a good friend. She made this beautiful Riley doll. Isn't he cool? He's even got a little leather satchel and little leather shoes. And I just adore him. So I thought I would introduce you to him with his beautiful goggles and scarf. And he's going to sit here and listen to the story as well. So how about we get started? Riley and the Dancing Lion. And look at these wonderful end papers of our gorgeous panda with his goggles on, ready to fly off into the blue. And then on the title page, which you can see has been signed by myself and Kieron Pratt, the illustrator, we have Riley, Panda and Dragon from book 1, searching a map of the world, wondering where on earth they're going to go next. Let's see what happens. Riley was slurping noodles in Chinatown when firecrackers began popping and fizzing in the dark night sky. His chopsticks clattered to the floor as he ran outside. There were starbursts and tom-thumbs, Catherine wheels and spinners, but there was also the flicker of a bedazzled tail disappearing into the surging crowd. My goodness, I wonder what that could be. Can you see there? Slurping those wonderful noodles, and there is Dragon fast asleep once again in his bowl. Riley ran back into the restaurant to tell his father about the bedazzled tail. Riley's father grinned with a mouthful of noodles and wondrous secrets. He told Riley the tail belonged to a legendary lion that appeared every Chinese New Year amidst the crash of drums and cymbals. But this was no ordinary lion. It was a traditional dancing lion. Have you seen these traditional dancing lions in China at Chinese New Year or in Hong Kong? These are very special lions that celebrate the New Year amongst lots of noise and fireworks. They're fabulous. Riley's eyes grew wide. A dancing lion? Was there really such a thing? Riley knew he had to hunt down that lion. Riley's father packed him a box of takeaway noodles and waved goodbye as Riley jumped into his little red plane and zoomed off to Hong Kong. Let's see if he makes it. Of course he does. When he reached Hong Kong, Riley zipped through the skyscrapers and flew low into Victoria Harbour. There's the beautiful harbour. It's one of the deepest harbours in the world. Past the ferries and past the sampans and junks carrying oodles of people to Hong Kong Island. Can you see there that beautiful junk? Carrying all those people across to the island. It's Riley zooming past. And of course you might see at the front here, we've got Panda with a bucket on his head. Can you see that? A noodle bucket. And who should be sleeping? I wonder who. And into Kowloon and its busy bee streets, where Riley glimpsed the most astonishing sight. Could it be the bedazzled tail of a dancing lion? Could it? Indeed it was. But alas, it was not the kind of dancing lion Riley was hoping to see. I wonder what kind of dancing lion you think that might be. I'm thinking maybe a rap dancer or hip-hop dancer. Do you like his underwear? It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Riley soared past the Victoria Peak tram, a long jiggling contraption, clambering up the mountain on Hong Kong Island. No dancing lion. At the top of Victoria Peak, Riley was very excited to see another dancing lion. but not the one he was looking for. There we go. Can you see that dancing lion there? She's very beautiful, and of course, she's a ballerina. He tried the bustling pool at Kowloon Park, but there was only a pair of synchronized swimmers dancing splashingly in the shallow water. And you see that beautiful illustration that Kieron has drawn of those gorgeous synchronized swimming lions. They've even got floaties on their tails. Very cute. Soaring over the beach at Stanley, Riley felt sad to discover nothing more than a highland-flinging Scotsman, leaping over rocks on the shoreline. There he is, our Scotsman. Isn't he gorgeous? He's even got a thistle for a tail. Thistle is the national emblem of Scotland. And at Aberdeen, a Latin duo performed the tango, samba and flamenco across the decks of sampans in the bay. But where was the traditional dancing lion? Gee, he's found lots of different types of lion, hasn't he? But not the traditional one. It would soon be Chinese New Year, and Riley wondered if he would ever find the right dancing lion. He flew over Ocean Park, a jazz dancing lion, entranced the crowds, but there was no traditional lion in sight. He flew past the Lantau Buddha and spotted the most magnificent sight, but it was only a trail of Chinese dancers fluttering their fans in the winter sun. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at that. And if you look closely, you will see on the top of these ladies' heads there's a different animal, a monkey, a turtle, a pig, a snake, which are all important Chinese animals. At Macau, a tap dancing lion went tippity-tap up and down the steps at the ruins of St. Paul's Cathedral. No traditional lion. It was getting dark. As Riley swooped his little red plane into the night sky, firecrackers began popping over Victoria Harbour. Would he find the dancing lion before Chinese New Year slipped over the horizon? I don't know. Suddenly the fireworks over Kowloon went bonkers, exploding like a rainbow of popcorn. Excited, Riley and his friends zoomed closer to see what the fuss was all about. When they reached Hong Kong night market, Riley's heart sank. The only dancing lions were ballroom dancers, foxtrotting fancifully. But suddenly there was a clash of cymbals, and the dancers swirled away. The crowd parted, and Riley could hardly believe his eyes. I wonder if it's the traditional dancing lion. Shall we see? It was a traditional dancing lion, hurrah! Jiggling and wriggling and leaping to the smash and crash of gongs and cymbals and the roaring of the New Year crowd. Isn't he magnificent? But he looks a little bit different, doesn't he? Can you see his funny looking legs here? And what do you think this might be? Very interesting. Riley gasped as two martial artists slipped out of the dancing lion costume. They had been performing a very special kind of dance, the ancient art of kung fu, or gung fu as it's called in mainland China, Mandarin. Can you see there? We've got some martial artists, and these are the fellows that mostly hide inside these beautiful lion costumes at Chinese New Year and do this very special dance. And this lion costume is often mistaken as a dragon. It's not a dragon, it's a lion. But how beautiful is this costume? So it was just a costume after all. Or was it? Riley knew he had found his traditional dancing lion. With a happy little jig, he jumped into his plane, waved goodbye, and began the long journey home. Look at that little costume down there. Wonder what it's thinking. As Riley disappeared into the night sky, the traditional dancing lion stirred. It shook its fur, stretched its paws, and arched its back. Then it flicked its bedazzled tail and danced off into a bright and beautiful new year. And you can see this lion costume has come alive, and there he is dancing off into the beautiful Hong Kong night with those firecrackers popping everywhere like that rainbow of popcorn. And of course at the end of each Riley book we can see where Riley has already been, and you can see he's been to Beijing and Hong Kong on that map. And on the back cover of the book we see Riley and his two friends dancing off with their new friend, the lion. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tour around Hong Kong. If you've already been to Hong Kong, you'll notice a lot of places that you've already seen, and you can look back and go, Mummy, I went there, or Daddy, we did that. And if you haven't been to Hong Kong, hopefully you will get to go soon, because it's a fabulous place. I hope you liked Riley and the Dancing Lion, and stay tuned, because pretty soon I'm going to be reading you the third book in the series, which is our first Riley book in Australia. And that's Riley and the Curious Koala, a journey around where else but Sydney. Thanks everyone, it's lovely to see you. Riley says goodbye, and we'll see you for the next reading. Bye now.